it takes everything in you to get out of bed, to go to treatment.
Yeah. You're watching everything happen around you, but you can't get out of this. And then a couple days go by and you're crawling out of that cloud.
For me, and I think both of us, is just, that feeling is this moment is just temporary, and even though you don't want to get out of bed, if you push yourself to open the drapes and step outside and let the sun hit your face, you might not feel as bad as you were 5 seconds ago in bed, but you might feel a little bit better. I think that was the thing, is just keep moving forward.
There's no other way. That's my life.
Now it's time I'm gonna get through this. There was no question that I wouldn't make it.
Meet our sisters, Blythe and Kesley Howard. These two incredible women share love, life, and overcoming cancer. You are stronger than you'll ever know. And take a breath and remember who the fuck you are. Let's get into their journey of how they overcame cancer. Let's get into it.
What up, sis? What is up? What is up? What is up? Happy Black History Month, sis. Happy Black History Month. I got two incredible women here. I promised y'all I was going to bring you some powerful, impactful women, and they're sitting right here. I want to introduce you to these incredible sisters. Obviously, they're sisters. I have Kesley Howard with me today. She's an actress and a founder, and Blythe Howard, the actress and founder. And I am so excited to get in their stories because their company is new. Their company is going to be so impactful, and they founded it together. Entrepreneurship is something that you're going to enjoy. And I'm really excited to dig into this new, beautiful birthing of this creation that you guys are bringing to life. This project is going to change so many people's lives. Thank you so much. Thank you. Welcome to the home. Welcome home. Get comfortable. We're about to get into it. So, sisters. Who's the oldest sister? Who's the younger sister?
Me. I'm oldest by 11 months.
Really? Oh, so y'all close.
Yeah. So we're Irish twins.
Oh, yeah. Interesting. So did y'all grow up together in Washington? Mm-hmm. How was that? Were you guys close growing up always? Because I know sisters, sometimes it's a sister thing. If you got a sister, you get it. Yeah. Tell me.
We've been close since she was born. She's been my best friend, my first best friend and forever best friend. Obviously we have our little tiffs, and it's an explosion of sorts, I think, because we're so close. Yes. But she's my best friend. I wouldn't be me without her.
I think also growing up with a single mom, it was just the three of us. So we were all very close, so.
That's so powerful. I think that people don't understand when you're sisters. I always say, my sister is my deepest relationship on this life span that I'm on right now. Like, me and my sister are so deeply in love with each other. Like, sometimes I want to throw her off the roof. But half the time I need her so codependently, like I need her. But a lot of people don't get to experience having that. Yeah. Like, that sister relationship is something like only sisters get it. Yeah. And that have this special relationship. So I'm really grateful for you both to have this experience. I know that you both have endured a lot as of recently with your health. And they have founded an incredible company called Chemo Queens. And I want to go into their health journey because of what they went through and what they overcame and their resilience and what they learned. They're literally creating this rebirthing of themselves into a new project called Chemo Queens. So I just want to jump right into it. It's really exciting. It's very emotional. But I want to talk about your journey. Kesley, did your journey start of battling cancer first, or Blythe's, or?
It was me. Yeah. So we were just kind of coming out of the pandemic. And February, or actually a couple months before my diagnosis, I had excruciating pain, and it just kind of snowballed from there. I had a lump that I found underneath my armpit, and then I had the diagnosis. And then it was basically a full year until I rang the bell. Yeah. Yeah.
So when you found out, do you remember the moment you found out that it was actually cancer?
Mm-hmm.
Where were you?
I was in a doctor's office. It was during the pandemic, so no one could come with me. Blythe couldn't come. And I was in a dark room. They put me in a corner and turned on the phone. And a voice that I had never met before told me I have cancer. Yeah,
It was breast cancer.
it was breast cancer. Yeah.
Is all breast cancer curable? Do we know?
I mean, I guess it depends on what stage.
Mhm.
If it's spread, that's obviously harder to treat.
To treat. Yeah. Yeah. But there are several women who are thriving, who had diagnosis, 10 years ago, who are still living with, metastatic breast cancer.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
So when you had this moment of, wow, I have this thing, the C word. I hate the C word. I lost my favorite person on earth, my nana, from cancer. She battled it for over 25 years because it would keep growing back.
Yeah.
What was your mindset?
I think it felt like someone had kicked the earth out from underneath me, I guess is the best way to describe it. And walking to the car was the hardest thing. I sat in the car and, lost it, of course, because everything is racing through your mind. I think the best way not best way, but it feels like a death almost. And yeah, I cried and then looked in the mirror and was like, okay, now it's time I'm going to get through this. There was no question that I wouldn't make it.
You knew.
I knew in my core. It was like, it's going to be tough. This is going to be the hardest thing they'll ever have to do. But I have a really big support system. And I knew that I had this strength within, and the amount of strength that I've gotten throughout my entire journey and still to this day is something that I could never fathom at like minutes before my diagnosis.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, Blythe, how did this affect you, finding out that your sister had this diagnosis?
It was like that's reality, the gene, the BRCA1 gene runs deep on our father's side. And so we knew this was a thing, right? But we never thought it would be our story, And so, when it happened and it just became very real that's like, this is very much part of our story. So when she called, I just lost it as well. It's like, well, what do you say? And it took a while for me to actually this is happening. And okay, we're going to rally. And I know I had to be like the pillar of strength for her. And that was pretty much it.
Wow. Yeah. Now the journey begins.
Now the journey begins.
How long was your journey? And how were you able to did you have to start learning all the treatments, all what you had to do? What was the process? Because I didn't know it's in your family, so it must be genetic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did people know, where were you in that moment of, okay, I need to figure this out?
Yeah. I mean, all the women on our father's side had breast cancer. Every single woman. So like Blythe said, it's always been something in the back of my mind or our minds. And, it's just like, we're just going to live our lives. But I was the first person within my circle of people that had breast cancer. So I navigated it on my own, basically. And then I had, other friends and family, try to do research. And it was really difficult to find someone who, had the similar story, someone who's working, single, without children, all the things, who was living a life like me, who looked like me.
Yes.
Yes. The resources were very, very, very slim.
So how do you conquer this cancer with such little resources? How did you do it? How did you get through it? How did you get through chemo? How?
That's a good question.
Because it blows my mind. When these things hit us,
Yeah.
it's kind of
Yeah. I mean, from the depths of, I guess, I don't know. I think the strength, having Blythe and our mom, and then also just our friends and family, the support that I received was, I mean, I'll be forever grateful. But I mean, at the end of the day, it takes everything in you to get out of bed to go to treatment.
Yeah. Things that you don't even think about.
Yeah.
As much as chemo is very physical, it is very, 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 very mental.
Yeah.
You have to remember that you aren't that person. I call it the chemo cloud. You go into this cloud and it sucks you in. It's like, I don't know if you've seen that episode of Maid where she sinks into the couch, but she's depressed, you know, and you're watching everything happen around you, but you can't get out of this. And then a couple of days go by and you're crawling out of that cloud, and then you're back to normal. And then it happens all over again when you go into infusions and stuff like that. It's very mental, but it's an out of body experience. I remember just almost looking at myself crumpled up on the couch, and I had to just remind myself that that's not you.
Yeah.
You know?
So Kesley, you healed. You battled this cancer.
Yeah.
And now you ring the bell.
Yep. Ring the bell. And then 11 months later, Blythe gets the diagnosis. So it was like reliving everything all over again. And then having to be, you know, when we first found out, when we got the call, you know, I couldn't help but lose it. And it actually was Blythe who was like, you have to be like, get it together. Like, you have to be the strong one now, please.
Yeah, I turned to her and he's like,
I was like, stop. I know, because it's just like, I had just like, it was like, oh, I'm just getting like my footing, you know, I'm finally like done. And then, okay, you know, it was just like, yeah, like I said, just like reliving. It was like a nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Blythe, how did you find out?
well,
Yeah, like I want to know. Like I'm like, dang.
yeah. Well, after she was diagnosed, I was like, I should probably get blood work done. I should probably check. And I didn't get the mammogram. I didn't do any of that. But I started having severe abdominal pain, like on the left side. And I'm very in tune with my body. I've rarely been sick. I've never had surgery, broken a bone or anything. So I know my body, something was off, you know, and it would be fleeting. So I was like, oh, it must be a digestion issue.
Yeah.
No big deal. Still didn't get checked. You know, I'm just like, I'm good.
Yeah.
And then I went to the ER just because it was so excruciating. So I went to the emergency room. They did all these tests. I had gotten a scan and they saw like this mass on my left ovary. And so there was different ER doctors that were coming in. So it was probably a cyst. It's probably this, doobie-doo. And then my gynecologist who ended up doing my surgery came in and was like, it's probably cancer.
What?
Like just straight out. And I was like, well, I mean, hold on, you know, still kind of in denial. But what he kept saying was like, because you're BRCA1, because you're BRCA1, because you're BRCA1. It's like, just because you're BRCA1, you know, doesn't mean you're going to have cancer. People have BRCA1 all the time, the gene, and don't get cancer.
So BRCA1 is a gene that can be carried through your ancestral lineage. That is a cancer gene, or
You're more like
Higher risk.
higher risk. Yeah. Higher risk of getting cancer, breast or ovarian.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I had done blood work, I guess, in September. And that's when I saw I was BRCA1. And then still, I was just like, okay, no worries. You know? And then fast forward to the end of November into December. December 7th was when I went into the ER and they did all the scans. And then they were looking at this mass. And there was another mass in my right ovary. But he kept calling it cancer. And I was like, well, let's wait until we get a pathologist. We knew that this mass had to come out. So I was scheduling a surgery. I had just booked a SAG National.
Of course you did. Of course.
Yeah, so in the ER, I'm looking at this, you know, this doctor, and he's like, you probably have cancer and we need to get you into surgery. We can do it Friday. And I was like, okay, can I still do this job coming up in 2 weeks? And he's like, we're talking about saving your life. I was like, okay, you know what I mean? Like,
I see that.
right? But it was just like, I just refused to like believe it until we have to get in there and see. I'm not going to have this stranger sit hovering above me and being, well, you have this. And it's like, well, hold on a second, So yeah, I did the job, and my surgery was Christmas Eve. So we spent Christmas in the hospital. Very successful surgery. We got everything out.
So did they define that it was cancer?
Yeah. So the mass on my left ovary was in fact cancer, but the mass that was on my right side wasn't. So they were sitting in this, while I was under, and debating on whether to save my right ovary. And they ended up just taking everything. So,
wow.
Yeah, because the risks are high. And I knew going in that could be my reality. And I signed off on the paper. I made that decision before going in. So
I have to ask this because as an artist and having this love for your art that I know you do, and anybody that knows Blythe knows she loves her art. Did you go and work that job?
Yeah.
And then go have to. I did. I had to. It was a big gig, and I knew Kesley had made it out. I knew I was going to make it out. This was just a pivot for me. Just a part of the journey. I just knew it. And I had to think that way. It's almost like still denial, but also just keep living your life. Just because you get a diagnosis, which I hadn't probably had a diagnosis at that point, but let's do the surgery, but can we postpone it until I do the job? I'm still living my life. I had a show that I was supposed to be shooting in January. It's like, I'm still planning on doing those things. There's no other way. That's my life. This is pretty unbelievable to me because I'm thinking about this for myself. And I'm like, I know a lot of us are like, how did they have this mindset? Because if we were probably told that we had this cancerous situation, a lot of us probably would crumble and fall. Mm-hmm. How did you guys, who instilled this? How did you get the strength?
Our mother. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, as a single mother, she, had no other choice but to, not only take care of herself, but take care of these, girls who are also biracial and, create the life and lifestyle that she wanted for us. Her strength is unlike, I can't imagine having another mother. Her strength is, I can't even speak, how incredible it is.
Yeah. We watched her do it. So it's ingrained in you.
Yeah. It's like, we are put up against obstacles and, we just got to keep going. You can have your moments of the crumble on the floor and, your entire day in bed, curtains drawn, and then we get up and we rise and you keep going.
Yeah.
So I want to talk to that person that is in their bed, curtains down. What would you tell that person? Because there could be women right now that are listening that are in their bed in this moment watching this and seeing you two women honor every part of your journey. What would you tell that girl? Like, how did you guys get through those days?
I think for me, and I think both of us, is just, that feeling is this moment is just temporary, and even though you don't want to get out of bed, if you push yourself to open the drapes and step outside and let the sun hit your face, you might not feel as bad as you were 5 seconds ago in bed, but you might feel a little bit better. I think that was the thing, is just keep moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And focusing on who you want to be on the other side of this. It has to be so clear because when you look in the mirror, you're not seeing yourself. You're not. Body language changes. It literally wants to keep you crumpled up. It wants to keep you there. So you have to just remember, look in the mirror, embrace who she is because she's getting you through it. First and foremost. So honoring that, being present as much as you can, but also just knowing who she's going to be on the other side of it. There's so much beauty on the other side of pain. There really is. So or fear, you know what I mean? It's like we're here and this is happening, but what's on the other side?
What's next? Yeah. And you weren't going to stop until you got to what's next.
I think with my, with what I went through, it's like there's so many blessings that came from this, horrible experience, and I'm a completely different person from who I was before my diagnosis.
Yeah.
And I love this person.
Yes.
It's taken a minute to get my, bearings, but there's so many great things that came from this.
So would you call this like a death and a rebirth? Totally. We talk about this a lot on the podcast. Like women go through so many deaths, but we rebirth even bigger and expansive and greater and stronger and just a different mindset. How and when did the rebirth actually start?
I think for me, it was like with ovarian cancer. I didn't have time to do the egg retrieval. I could have, but it was just too risky. So I thought my life was going to look different. Even leading up, I was like, I'd probably do surrogacy, as my career started taking off, But then it's like, wow, I can't have kids anymore. I cannot. So I can sit there and dwell on it. I'm going to process. I feel like I just haven't fully processed that, but just like my life has changed. So this is a completely new version of what I had imagined. I'm so much stronger after having gone through that, So
Along the way, did you lose relationships? Did you gain new relationships and community? How is that? Because I know oftentimes when people do get these big, these challenges in their lives, like a lot of people aren't able to hold space. A lot of new people come up and really hold space. I feel like when you're in these adverse times in our lives is when we really find who really is with us. Did you guys have any experience with that?
Yeah. There's quite a few that I've released from my life. There's a lot of relationships that became stronger. I have a lot of appreciation for a lot of the friendships that I have. It made me look at things differently. I'm a person who, I don't know, I wouldn't say that I let people like walk all over me in a way.
she's very nice. She's the nice sister, apparently.
But you don't want to get into mine.
Oh, great. But the wrath, though.
I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't take advantage of me. Don't take advantage of me because we're going to have a problem. But yeah, I think quite a bit of relationships where I was like, this is not.
Yeah.
I'm good to let that go.
Yeah. I find like we find the things that are surrounding us affects us the most. And sometimes when you're in it, you don't really recognize it until you're out of it. And then you're like, oh, actually, I'm fine.
Yeah.
It was just my surroundings.
Yeah.
I had to remove myself. It's like a plant, they say, right? You don't change the plant. You just put the plant in a different environment for it to grow.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm sure you both had to do.
Yeah. It's crucial.
Wow. Okay, so I want to take me through a part of the treatment because I know in chemo you lose your hair.
Mm-hmm.
Both of you didn't lose your hair. Did you lose it? Okay.
So again, like I went rogue. I didn't do like the cryo gloves. I had neuropathy, lost my hair. I think in the beginning, I thought that I'd be like some special like chemo baby and it wouldn't happen to me, But yeah, I mean, I had long, beautiful hair and I think that was the hardest part was losing my hair. I think that was where it was like reality,
But you got her curls back and they flourish and boom, they look good. They back. They're back and healthy and bouncing. Wow. So you did lose your hair. Blythe, you cold capped.
Yeah.
Explain what I've never even heard of cold capping.
Yeah. Right? That's the thing. Not many people have heard about it.
So
And when
how did you learn about this?
through her, she wished she had done it. Yeah. But it's very high maintenance, it's
What is it? What is cold capping?
Yeah, so there's cold capping and scalp cooling. And I did cold capping. So scalp cooling is where it's like this helmet thing. It's hooked up to a machine and it's pumping cold air to your scalp. And so it's supposed to prevent chemo-induced alopecia, right, where hair loss. And then cold capping is where you have basically ice blocks in a helmet form on top of your head throughout your infusion. You have to do it before, during, and then hours after. And I was able to, save my hair with cold capping. But I went through a service that I'm grateful for the service, but it was also a traumatic experience. So just the customer service part of it.
Complete disrespect.
So it was, I was sitting under this helmet. It's 5 pounds of ice. It's basically 7 hours a day on your infusion days. And I'm like, there has to be a better way, you know? So we started brainstorming ideas to create our own cold cap and also catered to Black hair, because they give you these protocols and this guideline sheet. And I'm looking at these things. I'm like, there's no way this would work for my hair in general. We never do this to my curls, you know? They're not catered to Black women. And also the temperature, we had to do it really, really cold. The standard temperature is negative 29 degrees. We had to go up to negative 41 degrees for my hair for it to get to my scalp. Yeah, basically puts your hair follicles into hibernation mode, so the chemo can't get to your scalp.
So does it kind of freeze it?
Exactly. But the maintenance in between was what also was the success of it.
But the traumatic experience is probably this company didn't even know how to deal. Right. I mean, never mind just dealing with the cancer and healing and going through chemo. And now you're on this next process of trying to keep her. She's a very successful actress.
That part. And I was able to work through my treatment. I booked a Neutrogena job with,
You know, I had a call back for that.
Oh, you did with Jennifer Garner.
And I'm so glad you got it. When I saw it, I said, I'm glad Blythe got that. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, thank you.
When I saw it, I said, I'm glad she got that.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it was hard. It was very hard.
So you cold capped through.
Yeah.
So the trauma of that, how did that make you feel? Did you feel unseen? Did you feel like these people don't even acknowledge me as a Black woman in my texture? Like, how did that?
Honestly, it does. But then I knew I didn't have time to like ask them questions. I had to just kind of follow my own intuition and do what I know best is my hair. You know your hair best, right? Yeah. You know, so yeah, it was just that and just kind of going with the flow and see what happens. And every week it was like, okay, we're still no patches, you know, and that's the thing when you ask your oncologist, they'll tell you, oh, it doesn't work. Don't bother. You're going to have bald patches. It doesn't, you know. Yeah.
That's what they told me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't do it. Don't do it. They convinced me not to. And then it was also the pandemic. So I couldn't have a technician come in with me. So they're like, you would have to do it and we can't help you. So
You by yourself.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah. The whole infusion.
Why do you think they downplay cold capping?
I don't know.
That's really interesting.
I mean, it's a hit or miss. I mean, I guess it depends. Like when I called for like a consultation, they're saying, 60 to 80% that it's going to work. And I also asked them, well, have you had Black women in the program? Yes, which I'm sure they have. But the technician I got had been with the company for 9 years. And they said, you were my first Black client. Like, what? Shit. Great. That makes me feel really comfortable. So it was a trial and error, but like I had to use my voice and be like, can we maybe, you have to speak up. You have to advocate for yourself.
That is one of the biggest lessons in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Self-advocacy, sis.
Yeah.
And it's hard at first, especially when people have never experienced a Black woman using their voice.
Right.
And there's pushback. There's pushback, you're a diva and difficult. Yeah. Or they minimize, your the problems that you're arising. Yeah.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not it. I'm so proud of you. Because I know that was probably very hard.
Yeah. It's scary because being able to, I stayed open to work. I wasn't expecting anything. I was just wanting to stay open. And then the strike hit and I was like secretly like, okay, good, but slower. I'm okay with that. Let me just get this treatment real quick. I'll be back.
It was perfect timing. Perfect timing, as it should be. I'm grateful that both of you got through such a, challenging battle.
Yeah.
How did that bring your sisterhood relationship closer?
I mean, we've always been, like I said, we've always been close.
Yeah.
But this is like, I yeah, I can't imagine. I can't imagine a life without you and your support. And yeah, it's just.
I know. I feel like it's like a part of our purpose together. Like individually, we have our own stories, but just, I mean, what are the odds? You know, it's like breast cancer and then ovarian cancer. It's like we have two different perspectives. We share the same voice. We have the same vision with what this is with Chemo Queens. And it's just like, that's the purpose.
Yeah.
That's the journey. And it started the day I was sitting in that ER. It started the day she was diagnosed. It was just, there was something here. And I don't want to squander this opportunity. You said something about rebirth, and it's like, this is an opportunity. It's a gift. I know it sounds crazy, but it's a gift to be able to settle into this pain, use it, and give it to some, like, help, you know, use it to help others. That's what that's about.
It's very, very, very powerful for you to say that. To be able to transmute pain, that's when the most masterpieces come into this life, the transmutation of pain. So with this transmutation, you guys have created an incredible company called Chemo Queens, of course, because we got two Chemo Queens sitting right here that have conquered both ovarian and breast cancer. Tell me about Chemo Queens.
Yeah. So, I mean, we created this to share the information that we collected. Like I said, there aren't very many resources for specifically women of color. Everything's kind of scattered. So we wanted to collect everything that we learned and put it in one spot, one place where people can come and get what they need. I mean, we have prompts, we have products, we have, you know, our essentials box, which we can get into in a little bit, but like, there's just so much that we're offering. And it's just really like basically a brain dump of what we learned and what we experienced. We did a lot of trial and error. And yeah, I think we've come up with a good resource.
I know there's a lot. We have a lot.
Yeah.
Especially with the prompts. I think that's like the first thing we did was put together like these conversation pieces, right? Get the dialogue going with your healthcare team. What questions to ask, you know? And then also prompts and conversations to get the dialogue going with your loved one, a loved one going through treatment. What to say, what not to say. That's a thing. That's a thing. It's hard. People tiptoe around it. And it's like, you know, we say this all the time, that it's like, we're not afraid to say cancer. You know, we have the resources, we have the tools. If we don't know, we'll find someone who does, you know. So we want to be like the pillar of strength in this community. And we're here to talk about it if you want to talk about it. And we're here to help your friends navigate and what to get, how to navigate this thing with them. So
The journey. It's the journey. And you being of service to these people, it's going to be so impactful. What can they receive when Chemo Queens hasn't even launched yet? So it's about to launch. So when it launches, what will be available for our audience?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we have the conversations. We created an essentials box.
Yeah.
So, you know, Blythe always says it's not your grandmother's like care package. There's so much more than that. It's products that we, you know, used and love, that we want people to feel comfortable going through their treatment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we want to give people the experience that we didn't get, you know, as far as I love tea and honey, but I have a million boxes of tea and honey, fuzzy socks with breast cancer ribbons on it. I didn't go, you know, people don't know. They think that that's just what you're supposed to do, which I'm super grateful, you know, but let's give them something that they need to prepare going into this battle. Yeah. You know, we call it a collab, actually. It's not really a fight or battle. We like to call it a collab with chemotherapy because it's a perspective.
Yeah, and you're working with the medicine. Yeah. I'm not going to say, you know, F cancer. Yeah. No, it's like, okay, this is happening. Mm-hmm. It's happening in my body. Mm-hmm. Let me partner with the medicine to heal it.
Wow, that's beautiful.
You know?
When my grandma had it, one of my girlfriends, she's a tarot reader. Shout out to Yvonne Schaefer. And she told my Nana to make cancer her friend. Mm. And my Nana wrote in her journal, "Cancer's my friend." And she would literally write about it like it was her friend. And she had to learn how to work with it in her body. And what you guys just said brought me to that moment. It's not a challenge. We're not fighting. We need to work. We need to collaborate together to heal, to get to our highest self.
Yeah.
So with this essential box, which I think is so genius, we don't know what to do. Say I'm like a sister, brother, cousin.
Yeah.
We don't know. We're just trying our best to give. So it's so intelligent to just have the essential boxes because you know what they need.
Yeah.
And it's easy.
Yeah.
And it's probably something that's going to brighten their day versus like remind them of what they're actually going through.
Yeah. We always say too, like the cancer industry like needs beauty the most. And this is, it's beautiful. It's soft to touch, and everything it's elevated, everything that you need in there. It's an experience. And we forget that we can enjoy those things in this time. You can be happy and joyous and get this thing and be like, okay, we want them to feel uplifted and beautiful and at peace and ready and prepared, And you said, if I'm the brother, sister, it's like, this is the perfect thing to get for your loved one who's going through this.
Yes.
So it's perfect.
It's always, I think it's hard for people sometimes to understand or to hold space or to have the knowledge to look into what somebody else is going through, to have the capacity or the empathy to be like, okay, this is what's happening. I need to do this. So I know, I don't think Chemo Queens is going to help so many people. It's going to help us show up because sometimes when these things happen to people, we don't know how to show up. Really. So having the conversations, being honest and very vulnerable and being like, this is what you should actually talk about to your man. And being open and honest, like these are things that are real.
Yeah.
That you have to own. I'm so excited for this. Chemo Queens, baby. It's coming. I am so grateful. I want to ask you to singularly this one question. Quick sentence, phrase. To any young Black girl right now that just got the news that she has cancer, what would you tell her?
As difficult as this is, you will get through this. The feelings that you have through chemotherapy specifically, and even radiation, if you go that route, that's temporary. You will rebuild. Like Blythe said, you hit this moment, but you have the strength. The amount of strength that you're going to have after this is, I can't even explain and describe. It is incredible. And you probably don't want to hear that right now, but you will get through this.
Yeah. Yeah. I think this is going to be the hardest thing you'll ever have to do. But to just stay present as much as you can be, I wouldn't even think about who you were because they're not going to be that same person. The version of you now getting through this or facing this is totally different than who you're going to be on the other side of this. Stay focused on her. The beauty of this thing is that there's a lot of cures out there. There's a lot more treatments available to people. So it's like, there's that piece of it, there are resources available. So, you got this, sis. You heard it right here. You got this.
Come to us.
Yes. Yeah. I think that's the juice. Like, this is the juice right here. Like, to get the knowledge, to get the understanding, to go deeper, because we could sit here for hours to talk about the treatment. We could talk about step by step, but you can do that at Chemo Queens and they will guide you and navigate with you. I think it's so awesome that you're doing this.
Thank you so much.
It's beautiful to see you turn pain into gold. That's true alchemy. You both are alchemists. Okay, so I need to know, what stage were you at when you found the cancer, both of you actually?
I was 2B. 2B.
What does that mean for somebody that doesn't know?
So it's in a local area. Like if it's just in one little spot, that's usually like stage 1, right? Stage flat or whatever. But if it's spread a little bit, that becomes another stage, right? And then you hear stage 4, stage 5, that's like in your blood and in your lymph nodes, like all that stuff. So
yeah. So that's when it's really spread.
Yeah. I'm the same.
Same.
Yeah. Yeah. Mine started deep within, like I couldn't even during a breast exam, I would never have been able to feel it. It was very deep. And then it spread to my lymph node, but it stopped. So yeah.
Wow. I'm so grateful that you both found it at this stage.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, like, what would you recommend to any of our sisters? Like, to find it, to go and do the checking? Like, what advice would you give us?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely brought up advocating for yourself early on. And, you know, the standard time to get checked is over 40. But now more and more younger women are being diagnosed and being still told that we're too young. Kesley was denied a mammogram.
Yeah.
You know? So knowledge is power. So as much as you don't want to face these things like I did, get checked, get the scans, get the blood work, because the sooner you have this information, the quicker you can deal with it head on. There's no blind side, you know? It's just, okay, this is happening. And we have the tools and resources to get through it because they're available
In the time.
you know, you think sometimes it's too late, you know, as far as like not being able to do the egg retrieval and stuff, but you know, I still have my life. Yeah. It's about longevity for me, you know, and I'm here and I'm excited to work on just me, you know? So,
Another thing is just like, you know your body more than anyone else. Listen to it. We both had excruciating pain. Our bodies were screaming at us. And like, we listened. Like the amount of pain that I had in this area was, I couldn't even sleep. And so I knew that something was wrong. And I begged to have a mammogram and they told me, no, I was too young. Let's talk about your weight. That's a whole other story. But like, and then another situation happened and then I had a lump underneath my armpit. It's like my body was like, okay, you're not going to listen to this? Well, let me show you. And so, you know, like 1 in 8 women, it's crazy. 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in their lifetime.
Wow, that's a high statistic.
Very high. And it's going to keep, I hate to say it, but keep growing. And like, that's the reality, and not to freak anyone out. But like I said, like, knowledge is power.
yeah.
You know, and we're here, even if we're just a whisper, you know, you know, we're here in the background. If you ever need us, should you need us.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's also as women, we're built, or like we're used to like, oh, it's a cramp. It's nothing, you know? Yeah. Which it could be nothing, I think, but just make sure you just, you know, stay in tune, get present, you know, get the scans, no big deal. You don't have to go in there and be like, I have cancer because I have a cramp. It's not that. It's really just, let's see what's going on with my body. Oh, good. I'm good. Let's carry on. And if it's your, you know, the diagnosis, I'm good. Let's carry on. Figure it out.
Trust yourself.
Yeah.
Trust yourself, sis, and go that extra mile, because this vessel is the vessel that you have to carry yourself in this world to get all the dreams, the love that you want in this lifetime. It's this body.
Yeah.
So listen to it. And listen to these two because they lived it. Yes. Ask the questions, go to the doctors, self-advocate for yourself. I feel like self-advocacy is the most important, especially in healthcare.
Oh, yeah.
Especially as a Black woman.
Yes. Yeah.
So please reach out to these two chemo queens right here, Blythe and Kes, please, and get everything you need to start this journey, if there even is one, but get checked.
Yeah.
My last question, because I want to know this for myself, like, how do you feel now? Like, who is this new Blythe? Who is this new Kes? Who is she? Who is she? Because I know she's new.
Yeah.
I know she's new. Yeah. Who is she? And what is she looking forward to?
She's looking forward to letting go of things that no longer serve her. And although it may be scary, it's okay to leap and it's okay to jump, because there will be a net. There's always a net. There's a lot of things that I've, like I said, let go of the friendships, but also let go of patterns and thoughts and, you know, ideas about myself, you know, and I'm excited. I'm excited. Lots of things are happening, and I'm stoked. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
For you. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
I'm excited.
Same thing, letting go of the things that no longer serve. I think also not putting up with bullshit from anybody or anything, you know? I just don't have time for it. I know what I want. I know the type of people I want in my life, you know? And if there's any red flag or any vibe, I have to trust my gut, because that's what got me through this body, like everything, my intuition got me through this. And it always has. I feel like it just put it into clearer focus. And now I don't have time to entertain anything that is not aligned with where I'm headed.
We got a new frequency, baby. We got it. We got a new frequency. I am really, I'm just amazed by both of you. I remember you said, Kez, you guys were 11 months different in age. You found out 11 months after she rang the bell. And I think it's, God puts people together, sisters together, families together, experiences together for a reason. And to see two sisters taking on this world, doing this thing with a single mom, that's fucking incredible. Like, you guys should be really proud of yourselves. And I pray that you both reflect deeply, like where you are, where you've been, and where you're going. I know Chemo Queens, I don't even have to pray Chemo Queens as well. I know Chemo Queens is gonna impact so many of us. I know it's gonna help so many people that wanna help people that are dealing with cancer. I pray that you have the courage to reach out to Chemo Queens and get the help that you need. These are the times to be vulnerable. These are the times to ask for help. These are the times to get questions answered, because these two are here to answer your questions. So I can't wait to see what kind of art you both create. I know it's going to be even more expansive. We're grateful to have you on the show, and we are giving you your flowers, baby, because you deserve all your flowers, sis. Nona Washington created this. She's a florist owner of Mixed Girls, and she created these beautiful flowers for our sister to celebrate you, because you deserve your flowers now. We don't wait over here. We give our flowers to our sisters always and forever. So beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you guys so much. And sis, I don't know what else to say, but we got this.
Yeah.
If you don't know now, you know now. That girl, we got this.